Sukumar joining us through Zoom from the USA. He is the Senior Director, Head of AI Machine Learning at Qualcomm. Welcome, Dr. Vinesh, and so sorry for the delay. All right. And being here with me on the stage, we have anh Lan Tran, CIO of Vietinbank, one of the leading banks in Vietnam. Thank you so much, anh, for coming. All right. We have Gaurav, thank you so much for spending your time flying from the USA to Vietnam. He is the Vice President of AI Machine Learning at JP Chase. For those who don't know, JP Chase is the biggest bank in the world right now. Thank you so much for coming. Welcome to Vietnam. And we have anh 𝘚𝘮𝘠𝘢𝘐, CEO of VinAI. I think everyone here may know him. Super famous expert in AI, not only in Vietnam, but also global scale. And Dr. Đăng Đỗ, thank you so much, anh, for coming, CEO of Strand AI, one of the partners of this event as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. All right, so why don't we start off by a very short introduction section and a very open question for everyone here. Can you please spend your time within 1 minute to let the audience know who you are, what you're building, and what excites you most about generative AI, especially when it comes to generative AI in business. Maybe Dr. Vinesh, can you please start your turn first? I cannot hear you. Can you please try to turn on your microphone? All right, I can hear you now.
Both on the handset side and also including. So that's probably 30 seconds to what I have.
All right, so England, can you please?
Hello everyone, my name is Lan. I'm from Vietinbank. Vietinbank has been embarking on the digital transformation for the last few years, and especially with the introduction of generative AI, I think there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of things that we can change in the way how we operate in the bank and how do we interact with the customers. So there's a lot of potential. We can use generative AI to improve our productivity and training our staff, and also how do we use AI in our decision making. Yeah.
Gaurav, please turn.
Right. Thank you for having me, first of all. I work as a data scientist at JP Chase, mostly on fraud detection problems. The one thing that excites me the most about generative AI is their application to existing models and existing productivity problems, like my colleague over here also said, the fellow panelist also said. And how they can basically augment existing models without too much re-engineering in the works. That's an interesting problem for me. Since I have the opportunity, I just want to put a quick legal disclaimer here as in a personal capacity, and whatever I'm saying are my personal opinions. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And anh 𝘚𝘮𝘠𝘢𝘚, please.
Hi, so I'm 𝘚𝘮. I actually spent many years outside of Vietnam, but 5 years ago, in 2019, I decided to quit Google DeepMind and came back and started VinAI. And today we're very proud that VinAI is the first world-class AI research lab in Vietnam. In fact, we managed to reach the top 20 of all the industrial AI research labs worldwide, having published more than 150 publications, all in the top-tier conferences in AI. And so in terms of products, then we're focusing on 2 verticals today. Generative AI, where we're doing a lot of work on how to make this generative AI model more efficient, more optimized, so that it can actually be run on cheaper hardware, making them more affordable, and also to the point that it can actually run on device and so on. The end users can actually use these generative AI models so that they don't have to worry about privacy issues. The other vertical is automotive, and we've been supplying AI-enabled technologies to a couple of OEMs around the world, and so far we've also won the CES Innovation Award last year. So I think we've been doing pretty well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and please, Dr. Dan.
Hi everyone, I'm Đăng Đỗ from Tran Technology. I'm very proud to be here today. I am focusing on research new generative AI and based in Vietnam. Thank you.
Right, thank you so much, Anh. So maybe our very first deeper question around generative AI is like, I really wanted to hear your thoughts and your insights around how generative AI is really transforming customer experiences. And can you please give some outstanding examples of how generative AI is really delivering some measurable values to our customers' experiences? As far as I know, there are so many multi-billion companies right now building some AI bots to support with the cold outreach for sales and also for customer support. So many times, customers may not even know that they are actually talking to an AI instead of a real human behind the phone. So Gaurav, maybe this question is for you. Can you please give some examples from your experience?
Right. I'll start with personalization. I think that was mentioned in the intro a few minutes ago as well. Personalization is almost like a subconscious need that customers now have already. Being exposed to social media platforms and shopping apps and streaming apps, customers subconsciously expect enterprises to know the companies that they're interacting with, to know them. Within the limits of privacy, of course. They don't want them to know everything about them, but they still want the experience to be tailored to whatever they have been doing. With large language models and with the advent of RAGs technologies specifically, this has been made possible to a certain extent. And I think what you mentioned about call center experiences and phone calls specifically, those are good examples to begin with, where you can have measurable impact. They are low monetary value transactions at the end of the day. They are high volume transactions. So the cost of going wrong is very low over there. At the same time, there is so much data that you can actually train your model on, and the impact to the end user in terms of the time saving that they have is really measurable. So I think call centers and chatbots are really good end user examples of where generative AI is the first starting point, in my opinion, where the generative AI is already making impact.
Sure, thank you so much. Anh Hưng, do you want to jump in and give a take?
Sure, I think if I have to pick an example, I think I will go for the assistant, the personal assistant. So, we start with Siri, which came around, I don't know, this is like maybe 2010, so that's 14, 15 years ago. So that's the technology that the first time that we actually experienced, right, the power of an AI to actually understand human. But then very soon people realized that, the technology is not there yet. AI is still very fragile and brittle and so on. And so for a long time, in the field of natural language understanding and spoken language understanding, people have tried really hard to push the boundary. And then I think when ChatGPT came out, it's really surprised everyone, even a lot of people in the research community. And so I think the questions go back to, now that we have technology like ChatGPT, what can assistant, the future personal assistant like Siri, how that's going to look like? And I think a lot of companies at the moment are actually working very hard on that. And I would expect to see that, and very soon we'll have assistant technology that really be able to understand our intent and our language, and be able to help us in a proactive way, and not just respond to queries as it is today.
Thank you so much, Anh. Dr. Vinesh, you have been with Qualcomm for such a long time. What's your insight on this one?
hear me okay?
Yes. I can hear you, yes.
I think in the space of generative AI, I think 4.2 we started a journey approximately 18 months ago, and we started demonstrating text-to-image generation on our mobile handset. Vehicles and mobile world conference of 23, and those times there was a lot of praise on DALL-E and ChatGPT that was advertised OpenAI. And there's a lot of myths in the ecosystem that these large models of generative AI can only be run on the cloud and not on devices. And we were able to show that this is completely doable on edge-based form factors, do it with pretty bad quality of service to generate an image took us approximately 30 seconds. But over a period of time, we were able to optimize the quality of service and we were able to generate the images in approximately a second or two. And that laid the foundation, I would say, for many of the consumer AI applications, specifically in the image or what we call generative AI. In other words, we can put image transformation, what we have in a wallpaper, any of that stuff that is a prompt information was also needed. Then this dimension of models are getting into, I would say, one of large language models, and our first entry in that space also some handsets working with Google in this case where we were able to productize the first generation of Lan Tran, and that laid the foundation for me. We need aspects of functions like email competition, server summarization, document summarization, those elements along. Then we also worked with Microsoft and we launched the Copilot Plus. I would say we were in April of 24 this year, when we were the very first device player to actually launch, I would say, a 5 base model on device, which laid the foundation for a lot of productivity tasks under Microsoft Suite. What I would say is, in short, in deploying these large models, and most of these models are very unique. You do a text input, you get output. You do a text input, you get an output. Now we are taking over that multimodality, where there's an opportunity to really look at fusion of image plus audio plus text, or video plus text plus audio, and then give you a much better prediction. You will see a lot more commercial applications being deployed. It's just not only for the beginner, still for the device. And I think this is a lot of use cases, and we're kind of excited how we can kind of really trend more applications.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vinesh. Maybe we can switch to anh Lan Tran.
Okay, yep, thanks. In VTIS, we believe in applying the AI to our daily operation. And maybe I give two examples. So in the bank, right, we have many documents, many procedures, many policies. And when a new staff join the bank, they struggle. They have this thick document about if they are the RM, what are the credit policy, how do I give a loans, what are the conditions, what are the collaterals. And these are complex documents that take a lot of time for the new staff to be trained on. So we developed an AI chatbot that will be able to study these documents and answer to the staff. So now the staff can ask an AI about the bank procedure, the bank policy, and we cut a lot of time in training. And it's much more effective because when you train them right, they will not remember. They study for 1 week, but they don't use it in real life, real practice. So now when you have a situation, they can talk to the chatbot, and the chatbot will return to you the documents and tell you what is the procedure, what is the bank policy in such a situation. Another thing is on my boss, my CEOs, always ask me, how are we doing? How many loans I give out yesterday? Which branch doing well? Which one not doing so well? Because we believe in using data and making decisions. But how does he reach the data? Previously, we have a department who bring out the document to him. They see, this is our performance, this is our branches. Now he can talk to the bot and ask the bot. It's very easy. We can train the bot to read our data on the performance of the branches. So he can ask the bot, what is our credit yesterday? Are we reaching the room that the State Bank have given to us yet? Or which brand is doing well? Which brand is having a bad debt turned out yesterday? So we try to make the data at the fingertip of the boss, and I think generative AI do it very well. So is that a few examples that we can use AI to change the way how we work and improve our productivity?
Sure, thank you so much. And maybe we are going to have a technical question. Maybe Gaurav and Dr. Dang Do, do you think what are the current problems of generative AI and what are the solutions for that one?
Thank you, sir. I think is a really important problem with generative AI is explainability of AI models, especially in the fields require transparency, like financial and medical or something like that. There are many different strategies like post-hoc training, explanation, or vision explanation, or some strategies like it. But we always have to training user to understand explanation given by AI model. So they can understand why AI models made specific decision. I think it's most important.
How about you, Gaurav? I think hallucination is also another serious problem. Even like co-founder from OpenAI, Ila, he formed a super alignment team, and now it's a startup, multi-billion-dollar.
Right. So I believe RAG has, to a certain extent, helped alleviate the problem of hallucination overall. The next big challenge, I believe, is super alignment, like you mentioned. Super alignment, the way that it has been defined in the industry is, are chatbots and generative AI, are they aligned to human values or not? Are they lying or deceiving us in any way? Or are they really, do they have our best interest as human beings when they are answering questions? They have been trained on human data after all. There are biases, but how do we know for sure whether they have our best interest? There have been papers published on this study, and there are at varying degrees, it has been measured whether the alignment is achieved or not. I believe the next frontier on this same trajectory is micro-alignment that can be basically defined as every company has a vision or a policy document or some sort of strategic point that they have to go towards. Now, are the LLMs or the co-pilots or all our digital assistants, are they in line with that vision or not? How do we measure that? How do we fix it if something that is misaligned has been detected? So those kind of problems, I feel, will remain in generative, are the next set of technical problems in generative AI. We have been hearing a lot of talk about agentic AI as well, which is built on, which has large language models and generative AI at the heart of it. And there are levels of of agentic AI where you have how much autonomy do we want to give to these agents. I feel giving full autonomy without fixing the micro alignment and super alignment will be something to watch out for. You don't want any agent to go rogue in that, so to speak. Yeah, thank you.
So much. I'm not sure how many more minutes we have. Maybe we are going to wrap up this session by one open question for everyone. What do you think, what do you predict as the next trend for generative AI? Anh, can you please start your turn?
So the question is, but what is the next trend for generative AI? Wow. I think that there are just so many, right? So to pick out what would be just one next trend, I think that's going to be difficult. But I think the vision for all of this energy behind generative AI is that for the first time, we are seeing a glimpse of the ability for the AI to be close to human level in terms of intelligence, right? It's not the same as the human level of intelligence yet, but close, right? So I think because of this, there's a lot of excitement about superintelligence, which is what Gaurav just mentioned, and I'm sure that that's going to be a really important driving factor in the future, along the dimension of expanding the capability of current system, right? So we want system to be more robust. It knows when it starts to hallucinate, and it should stop, right? Says that I don't know, rather than keep on, spitting out strings that it might not be very certain about. We want system that can combine both the creativity side, which is what ChatGPT and all this image generation really excel at today, with analytical reasoning, right? Which is, you start to see an example of Google DeepMind working on intentional mathematical Olympiad problems, for example. So that's one dimension along the dimension of expanding capability of the current system. And I would say that there's a second dimension, that is, how do you make this system more efficient and more affordable, right? Because at the moment, sustainability could be an issue, right? Because you're burning so much energies, right? By just, running this big system on big GPUs. And I think there's a question about whether that's going to be sustainable at all, right? So I think the second dimension would be how to improve the efficiency of the systems, right? And I think, from Qualcomm perspective, for example, obviously they want to have really efficient systems that can actually be run on the edge and on device and so on. So I think, along those two dimensions, I wouldn't say that there's one trend, but I would expect that there are many, many exciting things to come in the future.
It's going to be AGI. So how about you, England?
I mean, honestly, I'm not an AI expert, so I'd rather not give in a story about what will be the next trend for AI, but I can tell you the next trend in banking apps. For the moment, right, everyone is so used to having a digital banking apps. You can function almost everything in your banking apps, but it's very reactive. The customer tell the bank what to do. I want to do a fund transfer. I want to make a deposit. I want to apply for credit card. So very reactive. The customer tell the bank what to do. But the next generation of banking apps will coming very soon, where the bank will advise back to the customer. It will be a two-way conversation. It rather not as a tool anymore, but it kind of financial advisor to the customer. So now the banking app will prompt to the customer what they should do. So it's a two-way direction. It's not a one-way anymore. And I think that's coming very soon in the next few years. Yeah.
Dr. Vinesh, are you still here? Can you please? Yes. Can you please predict what's going to be the next trend for generative AI?
Let's talk about I think one of the things about today, most of the generative AI models are use cases that are based on many on the number of AI concepts. So especially when it becomes a move forward, when we use that for the data that we are training, and conceptual information and personalization. I think if we do that, we are close to human behavior. And it's easier said than done. So we do a lot of stuff on getting ability to understand the user. How do we store contextual information that is very private information so that any chance of the personal system will stop on day one and you start the conversation on day 10, you can continue to have the conversation. And you also can have a conversation with a 60-year-old or a 40-year-old or a 30-year-old person we need to and human beings have to need to learn and has to learn programming. It's not that the Google tells this is the image, this is the data, this is whatever it's like. It has to completely improvise. Again, these are two research subjects, and there's a lot of folks around the world focusing on that, and quite frankly, that also we can all focus on this. And I think the next 12 months, we can achieve a giant step towards using these, and there'll be one step towards that in common to the
Thank you so much, Doctor. Gaurav and Dang, do you want to answer this question?
I would like to add one thing. Basically, so far what we have seen, all the advancement in generative AI have been led by large language models or video or somewhat audio as well. These are mostly what we call unstructured data or semi-structured data. A lot of the data in the world in traditional industries is actually locked in tables, rows and columns. So tabular data sets are a huge pile of data, and so far the advancement in that has not somewhat caught up as much. So I think the next trend is building deep learning, which has been a topic in the industry for a long time. Traditional models in tabular data versus deep learning models, and now generative AI on top of deep learning. So yeah, the brief answer would be somewhat something on top of tabular data would be interesting, and actually it's near and dear to my heart as well.
Thank you so much. Dang, do you want to answer this question?
I think the next generation of AI models is more like humans when it's making technology platforms more synchronized across all sectors. I think it's the point in we need the views in the future. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Dang Do, and thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much, every panelist for today's discussion. We are going to wrap up this session, and once again, thank you so much to the audience, and I hope that you can enjoy the rest of the day. And we are going to have to give the stage for the next session. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.